we are joined by a couple of producer club members to discuss which current attraction we would want to work at.
And what would be our Universal Orlando dream job?
This is episode 507 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Hello, everybody. I am Michelle, your host for today. With me, I have, as always, Lee.
Hello, everyone.
And the newly married Christopher.
Hello.
And I would like to introduce two fairly new Producers Club members, but evidently very brave Producers Club members. We have with us Jenna Vutsinas.
Hello, all.
Hello.
And Adam Dworkin.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
You're not even going to name check her. Just because she's not here doesn't mean she doesn't exist, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
The ghost of Christmas past.
What you should have said was the newly married Chris and the newly divorced Lee and seen what people said. What? No, only kidding.
Yes, Tracy could not be here today. She has got too much school.
This is it.
Boring
her
stuff
uni's
to do.
done this week. Finished for 5 months, so we should get her back.
Oh, that's good.
It is good.
She's working her little patootie off.
Oh, you don't know the half of it.
Aw, I'm glad I'm done with it. And it's even harder when you go through that in your adulthood.
Yes. I couldn't
because
do it.
when you do it when you're young, there's not as much, you don't have as much going on. You don't have most of the time kids to take care of and things like that. But as an adult, you've got all your normal adult responsibilities and school
exactly
on top of it. So I got it. I get it for sure. Awesome. Anyway, so we have a kind of a fun episode today. We are going to talk about what attraction at Universal we would want to work at, as well as what our absolute dream job would be.
Yes.
Which actually Krista and I just discussed this in the car the other day on our way to school, just because she wanted to talk about it. So that was kind of a coincidence that we're recording about it now.
So just before, let me jump in, just so he doesn't message me and go, thanks for name checking me. But the person that actually came up with this suggestion is another Producers Club member, Mr. Sam Naj. So yeah, okay. Sam messaged me this and I thought that is a really good idea. Sam's actually been throwing some really good podcast ideas at me lately. So I will give him credit where credit is due.
Awesome. Sweet. Yeah, well, I like this one for sure. So let's just jump right in and start talking about, let's kick it off with the attractions. So Adam, which current attraction at Universal Orlando Resort would you most want to work at and why?
Okay, so this was actually super tough. And my wife was making fun of me for days because I kept going, what do you think about this? And she'd go, you need to stop. You need to just pick one. This is it's hypothetical.
No, that's perfect.
So, look, short background on why this is the way it is. I picked the Cat in the Hat.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Oh.
I've got 3 kids. They're 13, 11, and 7, or well, soon to be those, just all about. We have 2 June birthdays, so we're almost there.
Yeah.
But my wife has 3 kids of her own. They are 12, 11, and 4.
Wow.
So whenever we go to a theme park, it's sometimes all of us. It's sometimes just her and me. It's sometimes a combination, right? And one of the things that we all do together with the 4-year-old all the way up to the 13-year-old is doing this Cat in the Hat ride, which is so much fun.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you haven't lived through Seussland until you've done Cat in the Hat with a 4-year-old.
That's very true.
So, and just watching the members interact there. Oh, I'm sorry. The team members interact there. Sorry, I had a moment.
I missed that as well.
Bleep it out, Lee.
I was about to say, you're going to have to bleep that out. I know it was a curse. It's okay. The team members there are just so great. And the thought to be able to interact with the families the way they were interacting was just really cool. The last time I had my 7-year-old there, they just were talking to her. They were talking to her during the load, before the load. They were making her laugh. And that just looks like a lot of fun to me. Because on a lot of the other rides, it's like, whoop, how many are you to go to that spot?
Yeah.
You're about to be thrown onto the Velocicoaster and we just got to load you on as quick as possible. That looks like a spot that you can really interact with families, with kids, and see some smiles. And you guys talk about it a little bit, where there's not a lot of places in Universal that you can get the whole family, that range, to do something together like that and really see some smiles. I think that's the spot.
Yeah, you're right, because a lot of the other attractions are just like, I always think like the perfect location that you want interaction is the loading area for Forbidden Journey, but you're literally just getting shoved onto that ride. So as a team member on there, you're not interacting with anybody. It's literally just on you go, on you go, on you go. Whereas something like that, because it's not that busy and because it's quite a slow loader, you get that chance to interact with people and have an effect on their day.
Yeah, and to me, that's the fun part, right? If you're going to work in a theme park, you want to give some smiles out, right? You want something that they're going to go home with. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I like that one. It completely, like, I would never have expected anyone, apart from Tracy, to say the Cat in the Hat. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, even going a step above that, and it was kind of one of my issues picking an attraction, is I feel like we should have done this as picking an area. Because you have your attraction, and then you have, so like Seuss Landing, for example, that interaction, right? Like if you were able to pick Seuss Landing as an area, you could also be a Who.
Yeah.
Or you can, and get even more, of that interaction there doing that. So
I didn't even think about like costume characters. I just figured like rides, just as far as what to do. But yeah, you could really have some fun with that too, right? Dressing up as whomever and giving some hugs out.
Sweating your balls off in the July heat. Because I'm sorry, but that does not seem like fun at all.
The heat?
I can't imagine being the Lorax in that big sweaty fluffy suit, hugging little kids.
Yeah.
It cannot be fun.
They have like a little built-in air conditioner, apparently, don't they?
I have no idea.
I've heard the rumors of them. Yeah,
they're going to need it. But don't they leak?
They had hot air.
Yeah, AC units.
Well, yeah, they had too many people before, like passing out and stuff inside them. So they made that kind of mandatory, I think.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's got to go from a fun experience to a nightmare if you pass out on a kid, right? Yes. Taking your kid home. Oh no, the Lorax passed out on you. That's a therapy bill for 5 years.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Imagine the PTSD dreams you're getting out of that one.
Did you see the video recently of Goofy chasing that kid?
No.
What?
I don't watch Disney stuff.
I think it was in Disneyland. It was on TikTok, so it just kind of randomly came up. But literally a Goofy chasing down a child down their main street or whatever it is over there, because the kid was messing with this thing. Kid probably was like 7, started yanking on his tail, but the Goofy just went crazy and just
seriously
crazy.
Grab him. Like, oh god,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, somebody had heat exhaustion, I think.
Okay, scary.
Apparently the pandemic was rough on all of us. It's okay.
Yeah.
little tension. It's good.
Yeah.
Good fun times. All right, Chris, you're up.
Yeah. So when I was trying to pick my area, I was putting into account multiple things, right? Ride, outfit, right? Because you got to look good when you're working at a theme park. Ask Maddie. She's always decked out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this area or ride that I picked, I would not have picked before. Obviously, it didn't exist. But the area I probably wouldn't have picked. But I picked the Velocicoaster.
Okay.
And the reason for that, and I'm kind of cheating on this, but so they have pretty cool outfits there. Probably not the coolest in the park, but it goes back to what I was saying earlier, how I look at it not just as an attraction, but like a little bit of land. And I would love to dress up as like a scientist or anybody from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Even if you go inside the Discovery Center, so many awesome outfits in there. And then on top of that, you have one of the best rides at your disposal. We had to put down the ride for a little bit, got to test it out. I will be your test dummy. Let me jump on real quick. And because I worked that ride, I can get it to fail and do a rollback.
Yes.
So, oh my gosh. There we go.
I want the rollback.
The truth comes out. That's why you really want to do that.
Yeah. And, when I go on my break, I have Thunder Falls Terrace, got pizza, got burger digs. I got all the food I want in this area.
The watering hole. If you sneak
the watering hole, I got my drinks there.
Yeah.
during summertime, again, I go on my break. I'm like, it's really hot out here. Jump on River Adventure. So I feel like this land has everything I need and in close vicinity to the attraction I'm working at.
You want to work on the unload station to see people's faces as they come back in.
What do you mean?
So if you've got those kids that are crying because they've got the parents, the horrible, going back to last week's, 2 weeks episode, those horrible parents that drag kids on rides that they didn't really want to go on in the first place.
No.
Watch all those crying kids come off it.
Yeah. I mean, I see those same faces when I see people getting off of Fast and Furious. They're just in tears, crying. What was that?
Yes.
I've never seen that. I've seen smiley faces, people getting off it.
The only downside to working at that attraction, Chris, I would think would be having to clean up puke.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of pukers coming off that ride.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I will be one of them in September. Get in.
I guess. Maybe I don't work that part of the ride.
I've ridden Velocicoaster now, I think probably 4 times, and 2 out of the 4 times people that were on the car with me when they got off of it puked.
That's worrying. Really? You're not filling me full of hope, by the way, right now, because that's the one thing I'm slightly nervous about.
It was fabulous, but
Michelle, you saw me getting off Hagrid's the first time. I was not well.
Yeah, but that wasn't because of Hagrid's. That was because of other things.
Hagrid's had something to do with it.
No, I think you'll be fine.
We'll see.
Yep. All right, Jenna, what do you have for your favorite or current attraction that you would like to work at?
So I took this prompt in a completely different direction.
Okay.
So my background is in computer engineering and programming. So my focus was immediately on Universal Creative and what I can do behind the scenes, and that stuff behind the ride of controls engineering. So the current ride that's being redone that I would love to be a fly on the wall on is Revenge of the Mummy.
Yes.
So between, like, we were discussing, like, the brake runs and things of that nature, all those are intricate systems that are put together so that way when a car comes into a room, you don't get collisions, things of that nature. There's so many interesting parts of that. The fire, every little bit electronics is the fascinating part that I find. That although I'm not customer facing, I don't get to see everyone's smiley faces or the puke after the Velocicoaster. I get to contribute to the joy that someone feels getting on that ride, getting that rush of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I've never
Control
even thought
room.
about
I didn't even think about that.
No. It's going to be so interesting to see what that ride looks like when it comes back, or what they've actually done to it.
Yes, I would like for Jenna to make the brakes a little less jarring so we don't break ribs.
There are many rides in that park that need those end brakes to be a little less harsh.
Sounds like they need Jenna big time.
So what I have heard about that ride, and I don't know specifically where, but I think on Reddit there were some discussions that you might have to make that track longer to have more time to brake to make sure it's not as jarring.
Okay.
So with the current configuration, who knows what, but hopefully they can make it a little bit smoother.
Because it is.
That's true. It is a very short amount of track that they're dealing with in those rooms for sure.
It's the same Flight of the Hippogriff. That end brake on Jesus is.
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, it's not fun.
Yes. Awesome. The Mummy's a good one for many reasons, but I would have never thought about the controls. But that was on my list. Let's see what Lee has.
See, this was such a tough one for me because my answer to this question and my answer to my dream job question were actually the same thing, but for the benefit of coming up with something different, I left that one for my dream job, and I'm going to say I would like to be a wand keeper at Ollivander's. So being a massive Harry Potter fan, and there being this kind of introverted, struggling actor inside of me who likes to entertain, hence why I'm usually the biggest head on this podcast. I enjoy making people laugh. I enjoy entertaining people. I've always been the class clown. But something like Ollivander's of having such a positive effect on people, like kids, I can't imagine being a wand keeper and sort of doing that show for a little kid who genuinely believes it's real, having that effect, that they're the memories. Again, we talked about this 2 weeks ago. Those are the memories you take home from visiting a Disney World or a Universal Orlando, those interactions with team members or a character or whatever it is. And so to kind of play that role for me would be absolutely brilliant. And I think it's one of those as well that even though you're doing it multiple times a day, however many days a week, I don't think it would ever get boring because you've got the general public in there and you don't know what reaction you're going to get. Keeps you on your toes all the time, and then riffing off the people you've got in that room. I mean, we haven't done Ollivanders now since, I don't even think we've done it since the first time we did it, which was 2013 when our youngest got chosen. Which it was that long ago that Tracy doesn't even remember our youngest getting chosen. She was like, Jay didn't get chosen. I was like, she did. And I explained the situation because it was a friend of ours that actually got her picked. But anyway, we won't go down that way. But it would be such, like I say, that struggling kind of entertainer in me. That's where I'd want to be. That sort of front-facing entertainment role, having a massive effect on people's memories of visiting that park. It's kind of like Adam said earlier. I know, Jenny, you said you'd want to be behind the scenes because obviously that's your interest. But I would want to be in a role that was going to impact guest stays, because as I say, for me, those are the things that I remember, is that team member over there, or like I always say, one of the biggest memories I've ever had was our interaction with the usher at Halloween Horror Nights 25. I will never ever forget. It's one of the best experiences we've ever had, and it was like a 5-minute interaction with a character, but those are the memories you take home and you never forget.
Right. Yeah.
Lee, the question is, right, this wouldn't be an issue for you, but I was thinking about Ollivanders and I went, crap, I can't pull off an accent. Or I can barely speak in American English. Forget having to sound British. And like, do you think they have accent coaches? Is it all actors who are just coached outside? How do they're all, at least to me, they're spot on perfect. I mean, to you, maybe it does not sound spot on perfect, but I'm always curious about that. I
would assume, well, I know at least one wand keeper and he is English. So it's like a lot of the Hogwarts Express conductors, I know a few of them, and they're all English as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if most of them are English. But then
I wonder what's the percentage that are not.
But that being said, I also know a night bus conductor who is not English, but his accent's pretty good. So I don't know. I suppose you would have to, surely they must have training, but then also it would have to be pretty decent for them to be like. See, that's the one thing that lets me down a little bit with the Wizarding World, is I think they were on it right at the beginning, where a lot of the team members working in there were English, and now none of them are. And it does kind of take you out of it a little, but I understand why, especially at the moment.
It does, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, though, well, you're talking about like they're not English, but doing an English accent, or just not English at all?
Not English and not doing an English accent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just
because Americans are very easy to fool with an English accent, because we think the worst.
Really are.
Like, honestly, I think accents are awesome, and then I read online and no, that's terrible. I go, okay, sorry.
Well,
to be fair, I'm not English. This isn't my normal accent. I just put it on for the podcast.
Yeah. Aren't you Spanish?
No, I'm Australian.
Oh, that's right.
There you go.
No, I'm not really.
You know, I'm having a hard time though, Lee, and don't take offense to this, but I'm having a hard time picturing you with hair.
Do all wizards have to have hair, like?
Well, in that role, they do. They all have.
They've got a hat on. A wig. There you go.
I know, but I'm just saying, even with a wig on, I cannot picture you with hair.
It's long hair
like
too, right?
Fake hair, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't the wand keepers also wear, I remember, hats, if I remember proper as well? So there is certain costumes that they can fit in.
Yeah.
You get one of those visors that have the spiky hair.
You want to see me with a wig on?
All I'm imagining now is Lee with a powdered wig, like, Revolutionary War style. So
I'm gonna need this to be your Halloween costume, and you to send us a picture.
Okay.
Or just one of the nights at the Weekender, he'll be wearing that.
I mean, I could. Someone wants to buy me a wig, I'll wear it for the progressive dinner. Yeah. Oh, spoilers! We're not allowed to talk about that. We haven't announced it yet.
That's true. We should all be Death Eaters.
I mean, that would be awesome.
Okay. All right. So my turn. There are many places at Universal Orlando I would love to work. Many. But I think the one that tops them all, and this again was based on the conversation I had with Krissa in the car the other day. The one I think I would love to work at the most is Forbidden Journey. And that is mainly because I would really want to be able to like have full access to the building itself.
Yes.
And now I know it's a facade, right? I know that behind the scenes is probably just boring hallways. I've been through some of said boring hallways because when you have a medical bag, they take you kind of through some of the back doors to the locker where you can store your bag. But just there's got to be some cool places in that building that only staff know about.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure some of those fake doors are real doors.
Some of them probably are. They have to be because there have to be access doors for mechanics and things like that. And then like you have to be able to access the roof somehow because they have light shows and things that happen up there.
True.
So I just want that like behind the scenes access. When I did the Mummy tour and they took us like underneath and we got to see all of the behind the scenes stuff of that, it was super, super cool. I would just like to see that stuff and say that I was, privy to the ins and outs of Hogwarts Castle.
I think even walking through the ride would be awesome.
Yeah, right?
It would, because I know the ins and outs of how that attraction works, but I can't get my head around the whole carousel thing. It confuses the life out of me. I'm sure Jenna knows all about it.
I know many people who it's their dream to get evac'd out of that ride, the emergency evac, especially at the Whomping Willow.
Yes.
Just to walk through it and see how that all works. I
got stopped at the Whomping Willow and it freaked me the F out. Everybody swears up and down that you don't go fully upside down, but after you're sitting there for 10 minutes and the blood's rushing to your head, you sure as hell feel like you were upside down.
And then to go back to that stupid story that I think we talked about on the podcast when it happened, that some woman got stuck on it and she rang the police from her enchanted bench and was like, I am stuck on the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey and I am upside down. I mean, what do you think? Oh,
what are they going to do?
Stupid people.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure that it was something, wheelchair related or disability related.
No, she was just an idiot. She was disability. Yeah, she didn't have a brain.
No, I mean, when I got stuck.
Right. You haven't got a wheelchair
It was a good 10 minutes that we were stuck.
It does tend to happen on that ride, though.
Yeah.
I think we've been stuck on it a few times.
So now every time I'm going past the Whopping Willow, I'm chanting to myself, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. I'd be fine anywhere else, but like that position sucked.
I know if we got stuck on it in the Acromantula area, it would be my kid's worst nightmare.
Chris has too.
I would love it.
Or the Dementors. She doesn't like the Dementors either.
Really?
Really?
Don't tell her in that room then that there's about another 40 behind that they never actually use.
Oh, that'd be so cool though. See, like there's got to be stuff in that building that is just cool to see from the insider's perspective.
You can't because it's got a disillusionment charm on it, so you can't see it, so it's fine. You're a muggle, you'll never see it.
You're so funny.
It's true. Not a nerd.
Oh, anyway, awesome. Well, I think we all had some good ideas there.
Yes,
right?
Out of the box and some strange ones.
Yeah, so let's move on to be a little bit more specific and say what our dream job would be. So back to me. I am sure that I'm going to make everybody go, oh, that was mine too.
I bet it's not mine.
Mine would be, if I could do anything working for Universal, I would be on the creative team for Halloween Horror Nights.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did anybody else choose that?
Maybe.
Chris did.
I'm in between two, so I may use my other one since he used that. But.
Okay. So HHN, as everybody knows, is like my most favorite thing in the whole wide world. And to be a part of that, I'm not a very good actress, so scare actor is not my thing.
Yes, I can vouch for that when we've done UUOP theatre episodes. Yes, I can agree.
You're so funny.
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just stating the facts as they are presented to the jury.
I'm not an actress for sure, but I sure as heck know how to plan an event.
I'll agree with that.
I know
That's
how.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, I know how to make people have fun. I know how to be organized. I know how to make things happen. And I can be pretty creative when it comes to, if given the budget and given the tools, and the team, I think that I could do some pretty cool stuff. So I think it would be so fun to be on that team. And I know it's practically impossible. That's what everybody wants to do who works for Universal. So that's, it's never going to happen. But if I could go backwards in time and redo my education track, I would totally set myself up on a career path that would lead me to that. Like, hands down, without a doubt, 1000%, if reincarnation exists, that will be what I do in my next life.
I mean, to be fair, Michelle, there must be an opening at the moment, because Blake's just left, and I know he did 5 of the concepts for this year's houses, so there must be a gap there.
Well, those are some pretty big shoes to fill, and I have no lead up experience, right? So most of those people that get those jobs, aren't they kind of moved up the ranks through the internal process?
Go get a job as a skipper.
If I remember rightly, I think Blake he came on as events, something or other, started on Mardi Gras, and then he did Scare Zones and then moved up to that. I will hook you up with Blake this year, because as I say, now he's not there, and he did 5 of the concepts for this year's. I think you guys should have him on Rush of Fear.
Heck yeah, it'd be so awesome. So who knows, someday, maybe with my event planning background, maybe I'll get my foot in the door, but who knows?
I mean, there you go then. Not necessarily on the creative side of Horror Nights, just the event planning side of Horror Nights would be right up your alley. As far as like, what extra things can we do? So scare actor dining, that type of thing. What other things can we plan?
Yep. I got the ideas, guys. I got them.
For sure.
Just ask for my resume. I will have it to you right now.
There goes Porky.
Because I need one more job, right?
Yeah, you really
you're
don't.
not busy enough.
Oh, goodness. Fun. All right, Lee.
Now
you piqued my interest, because I really thought that would have been what you would have done too, but now I'm confused.
So I was thinking about this, and it's just like, I know I'm not creative enough to come up with concepts. Yes, it would be amazing to sit on those teams and sort of collaborate with the others, but I'm not, like, when it comes to creating things like that, that's not me. And I kind of already alluded to it, that I like to entertain, even though I am hindered by a massive sort of introversy, if that's a word. But if I could have picked it, like I said, my dream job, I would have also picked for my current attraction, and that is as this sort of hidden actor inside me, I would love to work the horror makeup show. Because again, it's everything I like to do, entertain, making people laugh, and that show is awesome. And it doesn't matter how many times you see it, it still makes you laugh. There's enough leeway in that script to have a laugh. It still makes me laugh. Like Tracy and I did it when we were over in February, and Jason Blackwater was working it, and he's English. And so there was a running joke all the way. So, when they dragged the kid who throws the stone, they were like, all right, so where are you from, kid? And he was like, England. And he was like, oh, he's from the same made-up country you're from. But the whole joke went right the way through the show. It was brought up all, and I love that they do that, though, even though they have a script to go by. Dependent, again, when I went back to Oliver, just depending on the crowd you get and the people you get, the show will be different every time. And having an impact on people's days, it would be awesome. Look, I'm going to put it out there now. Universal, if you're listening, Tim Tracker got dressed up as a biker vampire thing for Vamp 84 a few years ago. If he can do that, just let me do horror makeup shows just once. I'm over twice this year. I've got plenty of time.
And Lee can recite the entire thing with no script.
I mean, I can't, but I could by the time I came over, if that was what I had to do.
I'm sure you could do
it
by the end of this week, my friend.
It would just be, that show is so much fun. And I just think like I could see myself. It would be amazing. It would be a dream come true to do that job. And again, it's like, I know Jenna's probably going to come up with something like she wants to work on. I want to be working on the design team for Epic Universe or something like that. Ooh. Sorry if I've spoiled it, Jenna, there for a second, by the way. And like Chris and Michelle obviously come up with it because that's where you go. I want to work for Universal Creative, but I think I'd want to do something that affects, like Adam said, with working at Cat in the Hat, to impact guests in a way that I can see. That I can see that impact immediately on a guest visit to the parks. And then, look, there's a reason why we do UUOP theatre on these episodes, because I kind of enjoy acting a little bit, even though I'm not brave enough to actually get up and do it properly. I kind of like it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
So that would be mine.
And the shame of it, Lee, is that I feel like a lot of those opportunities are going away. Right? Yes. In the parks to have those shows that are unique each time.
Yeah.
They're really focused on these repeatable experiences, which are great. They're a lot of fun. But the horror makeup show is so cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is different every single time you see it. Because even Ollivanders is not really different.
No.
It's really the same experience. Yeah. Those experiences are really going away. It's like the Lost of the Jaws skippers, right? It's the show's a little different every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, the latest one they have is Fast and Furious, which is mostly on script when you're going through in there. I mean, sometimes they'll deviate.
They do
but
quite
not
a bit,
as much
though.
as the skipper could.
But yeah, at least there is still those opportunities in there. I'm glad for everyone all over Fast and Furious. The pre-shows are pretty cool. And there are the opportunities to go off script and kind of riff off people that are in the crowd. But yeah, you're right. Well, I think we've said it for a long time. Just team member or cast member led attractions are few and far between. At Disney and Universal, there's not many anymore. This is why I'm genuinely quite surprised that Poseidon's Fury reopened after COVID, with it being closed for so long. And having a team member led experience and a walking experience, I was genuinely surprised that it reopened. But that would be a cool show to work in as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be so amazing.
Yeah. But there's not many. Like, you look at even a lot of the shows like the Beat Builders. I think what Universal have got away from theatre shows now. You think with Fear Factor Live closing, there's only really Animal Actors and Horror Makeup. Because Sinbad's obviously gone. Everything else is more street performances now. So you look at like Marilyn Monroe and the Tale of the Three Brothers and the Fountain of Fair Fortune over in the Wizarding World, and then the Frog Choir and the Tri-Wizard Spirit Rally. The more kind of happen past them rather than plan to go and see them. Just kind of kinetic things going on around the park rather than we need to go and sit down, which, let's be honest, theme parks need those get out of the sun, have a sit down and fall asleep attractions.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I'm saying I'll fall asleep in Horror Makeup, but you just need that time to take the weight off your feet. But Chris, how many times have we said it on the show? I don't necessarily, when I'm chilling out, I want to be entertained still. So the opportunity to go and watch Horror Makeup, you're off your feet for half an hour, you're in air conditioning, you're being thoroughly entertained, but you're still kind of just having a relax, and they're getting few and far between, and it is sad.
Yeah, I mean, you even like it was said earlier about, for the most part, shows are just a scripted out thing, and you know the most recent show is the Bourne Stuntacular.
Don't spoil it.
And it's just no. What I'm saying, it's on script. There's not really, not that I can tell, any deviation that you can get from that script.
No,
obviously you're doing stunts, so you really got to be on script. But you know, you don't get that ability that you get to do on the other ones we mentioned. You know, so
you look at something like Waterworld as well, which is like one of the most guest satisfaction. I can't think of what the word is, but like the biggest guest satisfaction show in the world, I think, at this point, isn't it? Or it's definitely all the Universal parks. And then they put it into Beijing as well. We know why, because I know Andy's such a big fan, but Yeah, but again, I can't imagine there's an awful lot of chance to go off script in that show either.
No. We need more of that.
For definite. So yeah, that's mine. I'm going to jump in now because Michelle's had to leave, as we knew she would. So it is time to move on to Jenna. Come on, surprise us with your dream job.
So when I first saw this, it reminded me that I was eating lunch at Volcano Bay, and I literally sat there for an hour raving about the Tapu Tapus.
Okay.
I am not kidding you. A whole hour I'm talking with someone about, oh my gosh, this is such cool technology. And like I said, my background is small scale engineering, so I would like to work on so many interactive elements for Universal, because that's what really pulls you in and makes it immersive in the parks.
Okay.
So whether it be if you look at the Super Nintendo world, they have those Mario
Yes.
wristbands where you could tap the blocks, hit the music, and play with the actual sets, the ones in Japan, and hopefully it'll be similar in Orlando. I pray it will.
I think it will.
But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to bring up the mouse down the street just for a little bit to say what I wish they would have done.
Okay.
Originally, when Galaxy's Edge was planned, I remember there was this whole discussion of, oh, it's going to track with your Disney Parks app, and however many credits you get on the Falcon, you'll be treated different in Ogas, or if you trash the Falcon, they'll be like, hey, why didn't you bring that back in one piece? You know, that whole interactive element.
Yeah.
If you could bring that into the parks with little things, or I know there was a contract, or at least a statement that was made with Universal Japan and the Pokemon Company, something like that, if we could get interactive Pokemon or some way to bring those small interactive elements in a handheld size, of course upcharge people because that's part of the deal with it, but it's this extra experience that's immersive that people can join in, that you see the reward in. I remember HHN, I know they've done it a few times where the app where you can essentially in the lines play through a maze and mystery and stuff like that. Things like that are those immersive elements that I love to see in the parks, and I would love to help bring more into the parks.
Yeah. So the interactive ones in the Wizarding World, more stuff like that. Yeah, for definite. I know from watching Chris over at TDR Explorer, the Super Nintendo one looks super cool because there's certain areas of that area that you can't get in unless you complete other things, which kind of seems weird, but it's cool. Now I know, Jenna, did you receive a survey from Universal recently about...
No, I don't think I have.
So there is... It was one of those...
I am not an annual pass holder yet.
Yeah, me, I'm not currently,
I am getting that soon. I finally got my finances and everything in order. I take a cat to a vet, so I can finally get that.
I'm going to have to be very careful here because it was one of those do not talk about this anywhere to anyone surveys. But kind of what you've just been talking about, they are looking at for a certain magical area of the parks. Let's just say that. Certain implements that will be able to record certain things to progress. Let's just say that is what they are apparently looking at according to the survey that I received recently. So very much along the lines of what you've just been talking about. Interactive, sort of gamifying certain elements of things. But yes, you're right. When Disney came out with Magic Bands, it was, characters will know you by name and they'll be able to put your name up on It's a Small World, and none of that happened.
It's got to be done correctly, right? Because going back to Star Wars, they promised us the galaxy and gave us a Womp Rat in certain aspects. They were supposed to be the immense interactive stuff, and then they saved it for the Star Cruiser.
It's difficult isn't it? In a theme park area that is going to be as packed as that, to do those elements, to give individual experiences is how I wouldn't even...
It's extremely hard, but that's why I'm saying that they should not have lied in the beginning.
Yes.
So,
don't promise it and then take it away. Just do the bare minimum and then add it if you can. But yeah, exactly. They promised too much. They just recently,
they just recently introduced what is it, a bounty hunting thing where you could find a door and then use your phone with a thermal scanner to see who's behind and you caught your bounty.
Brilliant.
Interesting, because I know that Disney, at least with that was a whole thing of, oh, you're going to solve puzzles and you're going to help the Resistance, you're going to help the First Order. I'm like, it's not the Empire at this point.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be a scoundrel and do kind of scoundrel missions in the middle. So there was a bit of that where it's like, scan this QR code on the crate. So they tried to make the immersive. I feel like to implement it maybe so that everyone can feel it a bit in a large scale way. Maybe a bounty board where like you check in and you see if your name's on there, if you did terrible on the Falcon Run.
Yeah.
Or if you're, destroying First Order shipments, things like that, though it's like, oh, yeah, my name's on there. It pulls you in a bit more.
So like a Toy Story Mania type thing where you can go, oh, I was on the leaderboard for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I also always think it's about consistency of experience, right? Because like we're talking about this stuff, we all know what we're talking about, right? It's that experience of we all are probably too informed on some of this stuff.
Yes.
Does the average guest even know that this is out there? And when they get home and go, I missed out on these 5 things, is that a positive or negative experience? So how do we get this out so that every guest has the same experience or a consistent experience?
And that's why, going back to mine, why they've taken away a lot of these cast member and team member led attractions, because they want everyone to have the same experience. Because you go on Jaws and your team member's having a bad day and he just can't be bothered. It's a crap ride. Or you get someone who's super into it and you go, oh, that was such the best. That's not what it's about now. So going back to Transformers, as far as we've been made aware, they made I think I've said this a few times before, a full-size transforming, not full-size obviously because they're massive, but huge. So that end bit in Transformers where Optimus Prime rolls up and transforms, that was an animatronic that they built. But because they weren't convinced that they could get it to work every time, they took it out and just went with a screen because they know that screen will work 99.9% of the time. And if you got to that end of the ride and that animatronic didn't work, that's your lasting memory of that attraction. But again, they want to go. So it's, Chris, like I mentioned to you with the Haunted Mansion, of why they won't do Haunted Mansion Holiday in Orlando, because they want everyone to, it's the Haunted Mansion. And people might only ever go to Disney World once, and you want to experience the Haunted Mansion, not go, what the hell's this weird Tim Burton thing? Mm-hmm. So it's very much like you say about that guest having the same experience as the next one, which is good when you're looking at if you only ever get there once. But for repeat visitors, it kind of, yeah.
Well, and it's really interesting, and I think it was the Theme Park Duo podcast I was listening to, ironically, that they were talking about how they would rather have less Haunted Mansion Holiday and less of all of those overlays because they're missing out on the core experience.
Yeah. So
just like it's the difference in perspective from the Orlando parks to the California parks, which have always been a bit more local.
Yeah.
So it's always been interesting in Orlando because we are the frequent visitors. We go like it's our job to go, even when it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in New York and I'm flying down a couple times a year just for fun. And I think it's normal. And people look at me and go, you've lost your mind.
Yeah.
Right? What are you doing? There's other places in the world. But for us, we want these different experiences. I'm not sure how much people realize that they're not getting the A+ experience, or that they're not getting
probably
exactly what's supposed to happen every time. It's interesting.
Yeah, because like you say, I think Disneyland is, most visitors there are, probably Universal Hollywood as well, repeat visitors, whereas the general rule of thumb for the Orlando parks is generally the vast majority of people are going for the first time, or the first time in 5 or 10 years. So it's not the same. That focus isn't the same.
Yeah. You can't compare us to your just average park goer. Because like when I have a random friend go to Horror Nights and like, how was it? It's like, I did a couple houses. I'm like, what? Like, you didn't do everything? Nah. Like, why?
But then that's the weird experience. That's the weird thing. You talk about a consistency of experience. Horror Nights is the exact opposite of that. We all know from going to Halloween Horror Nights that you can go through a house one night, and if you hit it wrong, it'll be terrible. But then you can go through it another night and have the best experience you've ever had in a haunted house.
Yeah. I think the exception there is that Horror Nights as a pop-up event.
But it's the biggest event in Orlando, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy.
But
It's crazy when you look at like the theme park experience and then look at something like Halloween Horror Nights that's as big as it is, that is so, like, that level of consistency is not there at all.
But it's the opposite of your average ride at Universal, which is, screens or track based, right? This is the opposite. This is all props. This is all live actors. So to get that level of consistency there, I think.
Of course, but that's what I love about
years of training.
Yeah, but that's what you want. You want that. It makes those good runs better when you've had a bad run. Because we know from like ranking the houses, you can go through what, like you say, you could go through the whole event one night and have your rankings a certain way, and then go through the next night and then completely change.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that literally happened to us on one of the
and it's awesome.
On the same night. That one house, I forgot which one it was, jumped from like the bottom up to that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I love that about it.
Yeah,
cool.
So I'm going to bring the podcast to a crashing halt and say I've never done Halloween Horror Nights.
What?
Yeah,
I know. I've been going for years, and I'm a giant wimp, and I've avoided it.
Well. Make this year the year that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. I'm going to have to muster up some courage and get over there.
I have a story. So my ex drugged me because he had tickets and he's like, "You're going." I'm like, "What? I don't do haunted houses. I don't do scares. I get jump scared at the tiniest things." Like, "You're going." And then I loved it.
Yeah.
So I think it's once you're in it and you get this feeling of adrenaline and accomplishment when you get to a house and you're like, okay, I did this. Now I can do something scarier. I started with Ghostbusters because I'm like, has to be the kind of the cartoon house, the chill house. Like, little kids can go through this. I can do it.
Was that your first year, 2019, Jenna?
Yes.
Oh, what such a good year.
Yeah. Adam, get a couple drinks in City Walk. It'll loosen the muscles up. You'll be less scared.
See, this is what we need that alcoholic butterbeer for. Where's that?
There you go.
We need some of that.
Go.
What
I
you
can
need
do it
is
myself, but
reach out.
It'd be helpful if they sold it to me.
If you're going, go with a group. Like, I'm sure there's always Producers Club members about. People with, it's such a nice group of people. It's like, yeah, jump along with us. Like Kieran, our friends Kieran and Pippa. So Kieran's in the Producers Club. Like, they don't like horror movies at all. Went and absolutely loved it. And it's weird, that thing of like people who don't like watching scary stuff or like scary stuff still go and adore Halloween Horror Nights.
My wife, Alexa, literally was that. We started dating, and a month and a half later, I invited her to Horror Nights. She thought I was crazy. She hates anything scare. And now, we are covering the event, and she is in front of me looking at everything and loving it. I think once you get used to it, it kind of breaks that initial fear of going.
I think, unfortunately, once you get used to it, it becomes kind of predictable. That's the problem. I was talking to our youngest about it the other day, and it's like she was saying, I need to switch my brain off, because I think that's my issue. I walk through and I know where everything's coming from, and I'm kind of looking for it, so I need to anyway. Go. It's awesome. You will not regret it.
I'll have to do it this year. I'll plan it out
for sure. Cool. Christopher.
Yes. Mine's gonna be kind of boring compared to what we all just talked about.
So obviously originally it was working on the creative team for Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people would have picked, right? And that, just to go off what everybody was saying, it's like creative because I think it would be super cool to be able to contribute, and not just to Horror Nights, like to other events too. Just planning and building that all out is fun for me, and I'm not a creative person. But for some reason, in those type of events, I can come out with ideas. Yeah. That's not what I picked.
Okay.
What I was split between. And this one is like a dream job that's not necessarily the most difficult thing to get, but I can't just quit my job and do this forever. It would be a scare actor.
Okay.
And I know that sounds extremely, you can go and do other things. I grew up. So I have a sister. She's 7 years younger than I am. We grew up in a small townhouse and literally spent years and years and years jump scaring each other. And like I'm 37 years old right now. She's 30. We still do it to each other. And we love doing it to other people, and mix that in with your favorite event ever, Horror Nights, and being able to get that, like, I see it when they do it to other people there just walking around. I love it.
Yes.
I don't get scared, and Lee, you're the same way,
yeah.
right? We love seeing the scare on other people. It's so satisfying. And then it doesn't even have to be a scare, right? I see them interact with younger kids, and you're terrible parents for bringing your young kids, but we brought my 9-month-old niece, and
I love how he says you're terrible for bringing your younger kids, and then literally said 9 months.
She had headphones on, and she went to Horror Nights, and one of the most memorable experiences ever. And I've been going to Horror Nights since 2003 every year religiously. One of my most memorable moments there is when we went up to was it the Collector? What was
the Controller?
The Controller. We went up to the Controller, and we gave my niece, my sister's holding up the baby and offering it to the Controller. And the Controller, like, they're not trying to scare us, but the Controller is taking over the control, and then literally called my sister a bad parent for bringing him out there. And we all laughed so hard. So like things like that, and that interaction and stuff like that would be a dream job for me. Like, I wish I could quit my job for 2-3 months out of the year, and I would do it for free. Like, if I didn't have bills to worry about, that's how much I would love to do a job like this. So going back to what Lee said earlier, Universal, if you want to bring me in for a day as a scare actor, please, I will be any scare actor, anything whatsoever. But yeah, that would be a dream job for me to do. I do it every year.
It would be awesome. I know it's apparently very hard work. I know quite a few scare actors, and it's not an easy job at all, but it would be awesome just to do.
And that's not what I meant by it's not like the dream job. It is a lot of work, and you do have to be skilled. I know quite a few scare actors, even ones that we interact with here on the show. But it's a lot of work, but man, it has to have a satisfaction to it that if that's your thing, it's got to be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely a scare zone actor rather than a house actor, because I think you get, like you said, with the Control, you get a bit more leeway than just popping out and scaring people. You kind of get to. I mean, look at Bill Murray in Zombieland. Like, that would be an amazing scare actor job to do. Yeah, cool. Right, Adam, it is over to you to wrap us up, sir.
Absolutely. So I kind of went with that same theme, Lee, as I need to be facing, right? I need to be facing the general public.
Yeah.
I thought being a VIP tour guide would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Right. I love the history of the park. I love the whole story, even between the pull between Universal and Disney about building that park in Orlando, what they put in, how they kind of took that studio tour and got all of these attractions out of it. I mean, I think there's a lot of stories to be told around the parks.
Yes.
And there's a lot of history around the parks. And people focus on Disney history, right? Because there's that story there, and there's the Uncle Walt and the whole 9 yards. But people forget that there's a history to Universal other than it's Disney's competitor.
Yeah.
And I'd love to be able to share, like, hey, look, this used to be here. This is how they built this attraction. These were the ideas that went into it. Hey, look, this really famous person worked on this area, right? And be able to tell those stories.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And I would love to be able to share that sort of knowledge, which is, let's be fair, other than on this podcast, probably completely useless in life.
Yeah.
With a group of people.
Or on Jeopardy. You never know.
Or on Jeopardy. That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
What is useless knowledge from Universal?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the stories are really cool. And, Universal has this thing where, and you guys have talked about it before, because of the size, because of the scope, they've had to replace rather than add in many situations. And I think that even adds to the stories, right? What was it before? What has it become? And as a VIP tour guide, you get the opportunity to tell those stories, right? They pick their favorite attractions, you know what you're about to do, and you get to provide a completely unique experience every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one. You've kind of just prompted me to think, Chris, can you imagine being an RIP tour guide?
Oh, yeah.
So you literally just get to go through Horror Nights houses and get paid for it.
and nerd out with people.
Basically, and know all the backstory to the houses. Like I know from Tyler, when Tyler was our tour guide in 2015, I think he tallied up the amount of times he'd been through every house about 50 times by the end of that run. It might have even been more. It might have been more like 100. Imagine getting paid to go through Horror Nights houses 100 times a year.
Yeah.
But yes.
And those people doing the jobs, the RIPs, the VIPs, you know, Rich he was awesome.
Yeah.
And he's VIP during the normal times.
Yeah.
And he's just a wealth of knowledge, like Adam was saying. Like it's just cool, like to have that insight, and obviously you even get more of that knowledge from insiders. It'd be awesome to nerd out with people.
Even something simple, like I saw a VIP tour. I was there most recently in February, and the VIP guide is holding one kid in one arm, pushing the stroller with the other arm, and talking to the parents about like the ride. And I'm going, that is the coolest thing ever. He's having a real moment with them.
Yeah.
That just looks so cool.
Very intimate experience. Yeah, which is difficult in theme parks to get that.
It's just, I think, difficult in general. Like, how many experiences do you have that are truly personal?
Yeah.
And to have them on vacation in this really special moment, you got to go home at the end of the day feeling good about your day.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've said. Those interactions are the things you take home, the memories you remember. I think I said it again 2 weeks ago when we were talking about going with kids. You don't remember, I mean, you might do remember going, oh, that awesome ride we had on Velocicoaster, but it was the same as the one before and the one after, or riding this, that, or the other. The memories of those interactions with a team member or a character or a VIP tour guide, whoever it might be, those personal interactions are the things that make your memories, especially at Universal. I think probably more than Disney at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that goes like those stories, like you said, Adam, that everyone knows the Disney stories, and that's one of the things that I've strived to do with this podcast, is to tell those Universal stories that nobody gets to hear. And it's funny, I was again talking to our youngest, and she's like, how have you got some of the people on your podcast that you have? And it's like, I look back to, Chris is way before your time, but Bill Kidd, the guy who composed the music, most of the music for Islands of Adventure, we were relatively new, and I email this person who's a composer, and I'm a nobody, and he's like, I'd love to come on, and did a crap ton of work converting all his old tapes into like MP3. And it's because they don't get to tell that story like the Disney Imagineers do. Everyone knows Joe Roddy or an Exitensio or a Bob Gurr, but it's like, it's only now that Universal creative members or art and design team members are beginning to become public names. You know, people know who's a Greg Hall or a Shelby O'Neill or a Charles Gray or a Patrick Blair or a Mike Aiello or a Laura Sauls. You know, before those weren't big names, and now they are, and it's great.
Yeah.
And Lee, that episode of the podcast, I think I actually
posted
that episode up. Yeah. Because I do something different now, but both of my degrees are in music. So when that episode popped in, and you got a composer talking about his craft and his art and all the things that went into it, I listened to that thing at least twice in a row. And then when I was doing a re-listen of the show recently, I got back to it and I said, this is just as good now as it was when you recorded it. It's just as relevant and just as interesting. And that is just the kind of stuff you don't get all the time.
That's one of my favorite interviews we've ever done, because it'd been 20 years since he composed that music. Yet talking to him, it was like he did it yesterday. He knew still to this day all the little intricacies of that port of entry music or whatever and stuff. And it's just, I love, like I've said before, I do this podcast for me because they're the stories I'm interested in. And the fact that I can share those with other people is just a bonus, really.
That's the fun part, right?
Cool. So, Jenna, have you applied for a job at Universal yet then?
I have not. So I will give some information that Universal Creative is hiring as of now in many different divisions, especially I believe the Advanced Technologies division. I did have someone reach out and say, hey, do you know any former professors that would be great for recruiting?
Ooh.
So they are looking for engineers as well as front-facing people. I know that there was at least like 5,000 jobs posted or something huge.
Yes. Get yourself there.
But I have not applied yet. I actually love where I'm at right now.
Okay.
Little bit of backstory. I build LED lights for boats down here in South Florida. So I'm learning a lot, and I'm really happy with where I am now. So maybe in a few years, if that time comes, then take the jump. But for now, I like where I'm at.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Chris, when you got, I expected yours to be either, your dream job to either be water taxi driver or bartender at Strongwater Tavern.
Both very strong candidates on that. Yeah. No, wow. Next time, let's do top 3. How about that? That you just made my top 3 list, so.
I tried to get Tracy to come up with hers, but she's been so busy that she hasn't even had time to kind of think about hers. But I might get her to come up with it for a week's time and see what she comes up with, because I'll be actually quite interested. I can't imagine what she would come up with, actually.
I would like to hear it.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
I'd like to hear anybody listening as well.
Yes,
if you want to tell us what your dream job at Universal is and which attraction you'd want to work at, you should post it up on our Instagram, Facebook.
Definitely.
Let us know. See if we got any other unique answers like Jenna gave us that we wouldn't even think of.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're on Facebook, this episode will get posted to Facebook. Just go and comment underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Cool.
I'd like to see that. All right. Well, that is going to wrap up this episode with, we're going to wrap up this episode with another Universal Is. And now this one is coming from our 2 guests. If you would like to get involved wrapping up the podcast, just let us know what you think Universal is in 3 words or less, and send them over to podcast@uuopodcast.com. And you can send them on social media as well. So the Facebooks, the Instagrams, whatever it is, right? But for episode 507, Jenna and Adam, it is over to you guys.
So in honor of Chris, Universal is my first bar hop.
Nice.
Wow. Love it.
And I guess in honor of my excitement for the new park, Universal is my epic universe.
See you next time.
That was another episode of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, the best and only podcast about Universal Orlando on the island. Check us out on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. For all the podcasts, news, and articles, check out our blog at uuopodcast.com. Send us your questions, comments, and listener debate submissions to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Join the Producers Club by emailing us at uuopproducers@gmail.com. Listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Check out our friends, the Theme Park Duo, for all your other theme park news, and use our awesome sponsors, Mouse and Muggle Travel Company, to book your next trip. So until next time, this is Amity 6. Call off the Marines. We're coming home.